What's up, YouTube? As some of you may know, I was a Hoyoung main up until about a week before recording this video. I made the jump to Shower for a few reasons, but I still do enjoy Hoyoung, so I wanted to talk to you guys about a few of the reasons that made me kind of take that leap and drop Hoyoung, my 253 Hoyoung, to make Shadower. The first is kind of obvious, it's the setup. Hoyoung is a really setup based class when it comes to bossing and farming. It took me 13 key presses to be ready to burst on Hoyoung, and that is something that is kind of crucial when it comes to the class itself, because it is a setup class. You have to press a lot of keys, and 13 keys is a lot to press. And you know, when I was doing bosses with parties, it made it really hard, because if someone binded without giving me a 15-second warning, I probably wouldn't be ready, and half the bind would be up by the time I was ready to complete my burst. And that was just something that was kind of irritating. While I do love the iframes that Hoyoung gets, a whole 30-second iframe that kind of gets a cooldown based on how long you've used it, as well as the burst being an iframe and the ability to fly. Those are like amazing things about Hoyoung. They increase my survivability, they make, you know, playing the class super fun, and it just makes the class a little bit easier. It had amazing map clear. It had a lot of summons to manage though, and those summons do kind of get annoying. And you know, I got to the point where I was able to upkeep my summons and my setup 100% of the time without having any downtime with the gauges. But again, having to manage those gauges is just something that kind of gets tedious over time. You know, it became second nature, but still having to think about it and, you know, look at the screen every now and then and just kind of focus on that, even when I was on Totem and training and trying to just watch some Netflix or something, it kind of made it a little bit harder to play. And I kind of want to take it easy. I want to ease down a bit, and maybe this is why that Hoyoungs are kind of scarce. I noticed that even with Mulong Dojo, there weren't many Hoyoungs doing it, because I was able to rank in the top, and I was nowhere near the top ranking of Hoyoung, so that was pretty insane. Even during Helix though, I kind of felt weak, because I've seen Night Lords lower stat than me, lower level than me, be able to one pop Helix, while I still take a good minute or two, and that's just something that I felt like wasn't right. You know, I feel like if I am a heavy burst class and I have higher stat than this Night Lord, I should be able to one pop it. And maybe I'm just doing it wrong, maybe, you know, I'm not doing it efficiently, but even so, I put my whole setup. I do the burst, I do last resort, I do angelic buster link, I have my links on, I have the boss damage legion page on, and it's just, you know, something that I felt like I should have done more damage to. Also, sometimes I do like to pig out and spoil myself with surprise style boxes in NX, and having a shared cash shop in the Explorers is really nice to have, because, you know, I've opened boxes on my Hoyoung and not been able to share it to my Explorers or whatever class I wanted to use it on, and it kind of sucked. So having that shared cash shop is kind of nice, but again, that's not really crucial. I do wish that, since totems are being removed, I didn't buy my totems out on my Hoyoung so I could transfer them, but luckily I have the cash transfer event with 3 days to spare for these last 2 totems that I have on my Hoyoung. Honestly though, again, the setup was just something I got really tired of over time, and that's probably the biggest reason I'm switching classes before it's too late for me. It was just a little bit stressful preparing for that bind, especially again without anybody telling me or giving me a heads up that they're doing it. I just took too long to set up, and it just didn't sit right. So anyways, that's going to be all for today's video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you guys Hoyoung players? Have you guys considered doing Hoyoung? Again, it is an amazing class. I love it. The damage output is awesome. You know, the mobbing is awesome. I'm able to clear VC3 without even moving, and it's just one of those classes that kind of requires a little bit more effort, but is amazing overall. So let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy mapling.